Today we will discuss about febrile seizure. It is very common topic which is going to be discussed in pediatric age group. Very common diseases commonly occurring in from 6 months to 5 years of age groups. Common DDs are there. We have to discuss them, how we will differentiate the febrile seizures from the other seizures. So first we have to be discuss what is febrile seizure. Today's class we will discuss about the definition of the febrile seizure, then the classification of the febrile seizure, epidemiology, risk factors for its recurrence, it is usually recurring, then the risk factors for the epilepsy, it is going to be converted, what are the risk factors, so it is going to be converted in epilepsy, then the causes, last how we will diagnose the febrile seizure, whether the investigations are needed or not needed, in what conditions we have to be go for the invasive techniques, and at last what is the treatment for febrile seizure. So first of all, what is febrile seizure? By the definition, febrile seizures are the seizures that occur between the age group of 6 months to 60 months with a temperature of 38 degrees centigrade or higher, that are not the result of central nervous system infection or any metabolic imbalance, and that occur in the absence of history of prior afebrile seizures. So the generally accepted criteria for the febrile seizure included a convulsion associated with an elevated temperature greater than 38 degrees centigrade. Second one, a child older than 6 months and younger than 6 years of age group. If a child is less than 6 years of age group or elder than 6 years of age group, febrile seizure is very uncommon. The third one is absence of central nervous system infection or inflammation. If we are having any evidence of central nervous system infection, the febrile seizure is very unlikely. Absence of acute systemic metabolic abnormality that may produce convulsion, and last one, there should not be any history of previous afebrile seizure. So this is all about the definition of febrile seizure. Next, we are coming for the classification of the febrile seizure. The febrile seizure are further divided into two categories: simple or complex. It is based on the clinical features. So simple febrile seizure, the most common type, it is characterized by the seizure associated with fever that are generalized, usually tonic-clonic, last less than 15 minutes and do not recur in 24-hour period. Second one is complex febrile seizure, seizure associated with fever that are characterized by episodes that have a focal onset, last longer than 15 minutes or occur more than once in 24 hours. Then one more terminology is febrile status epilepticus, the febrile seizure lasting longer than 30 minutes or intermittent seizures without neurological recovery. Now we are coming for the epidemiology. The epidemiology, it is the most common neurological disorder of the infant and the young children. It is an age independent phenomena, as I earlier told you, occur between the age of 6 months to 5 years of age, occurring in 2 to 4% of children younger than the 5 years age. Peak incidence is between 12 months to 18 months of age. Sex ratio, it is male predominant, male is to female ratio is 1.6 is to 1. Between 2 to 5% of neurologically healthy infants and children experience at least one time, usually simple febrile seizure. Simple febrile seizure do not have an increased risk of mortality. Complex febrile seizure may have an approximate 2-4 long time increase in the mortality as compared to the general population over the subsequent 2 years, probably secondary to coexisting pathology. Then recurrence in approximately 30% of those experiencing first episode and 50% of infants less than 1 year old at febrile seizure onset. Although about 15% of the children with epilepsy have had febrile seizures, only 2 to 7% of children who experiences febrile seizure produce to develop epilepsy later in the life. Now we are coming to the genetic factors. There are genetic factors, yes, there is positive family history indicates the disorder is inherited as autosomal dominant trait, and multiple single genes causing the disorder have been identified. Now we are coming to the risk factors for the recurrence of the febrile seizures. There are certain risk factors are there by which we can judge whether the febrile seizure recurrence will be occur or not. There are major risk factors and the minor risk factors. Major risk factors are 3: age less than 1 year of age, duration of the fever less than 24 hours, and fever more than of 100.4 to 102.2 degree Fahrenheit. Then minor criteria for the seizures are family history of the febrile seizure, family history of the epilepsy, complex febrile seizure, day care, male gender, and low serum sodium level at the time of presentation. So the risk factors, if there are no risk factors, carry a recurrence risk of approximately only 12%. If one risk factor is there, the recurrence risk will be 25 to 15%. Two risk factors indicate 50 to 59%. Three or more risk factors, 73 to 100% of risk factors. The risk factors for the epilepsy indicates if simple febrile seizure is there, if simple febrile seizure is there, so risk for the subsequent epilepsy is only 1%. Recurrent febrile seizure risk for epilepsy is 4%. Complex febrile seizure risk is 6%. Fever less than 1 hour before febrile seizure, the risk for epilepsy is 11%. Family history of epilepsy, then risk is more, about 18%. And complex febrile seizure, the risk is 29%. And neurodevelopmental abnormality, the risk is 33%. So now we are coming for the causes. The febrile seizure usually caused with the causes which are precipitating the fever, usually upper respiratory tract infections like Roseola infantum, gastroenteritis causing fever, causing febrile seizures, influenza virus, and urinary tract infections. Now workup, we have to be take the history adequately, then we have to be do the physical examination, lumbar puncture. Very common, if child is less than 1 year of age group, the signs of meningitis are not coming, so we have to be do the lumbar puncture. EEG, it is having prognostic procedures. EEG should be done usually after the 14 days of the fever, because at the time of we have to be take interictal EEG to indicate whether it is going to be converted into epilepsy or not. Then blood studies and neuroimaging. So management wise, as we have to take the history examination, then we have to manage it acute illness, then determine the risk factor for the recurrence and estimate the risk of recurrence of the febrile seizure. Next part, we have to counsel the parent about the risk of the recurrence and how we have to proceed for the first aid and manage the fever. And according to the risk factor for later on epilepsy, if low risk is there, we don't need any therapy or investigation. Intermediate or high risk, we have to consider for the EEG and the imaging, and considered intermittent oral diazepam, or in exceptional cases that recur, we have to require continuous therapy. So treatment wise, if seizure lasts for longer than 5 minutes, acute treatment with diazepam, lorazepam or midazolam is needed. Rectal diazepam is often prescribed to be given at the time of recurrence of a febrile seizure lasting longer than 5 minutes. Alternatively, buccal or intranasal midazolam may be used or is often preferred by the parents. Intravenous benzodiazepines, phenobarbitons, phenytoin or valproate may be needed in case of febrile status epilepticus. If parents are very anxious, concerned their child's seizure, intermittent oral diazepam can be given during febrile illnesses. The dose of the diazepam is 0.33 milligram per kg every 8 hourly during fever, to reduce the risk of the seizures in the children known to be having had febrile seizures with previous illness. The intermittent oral nitrazepam, clonazepam or clobazam in the dose of 0.1 milligram per kg per day have also been used. So antipyretic can reduce the discomfort of the child, but do not reduce the risk of having a recurrence febrile seizures, probably because of the seizure often occur as the temperature is rising or falling. Chronic anti-epileptic therapy may be considered for the child who are having high risk for the later epilepsy. So this is all about febrile seizure. Thank you.